Welcome to the Blerds podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Blerds podcast. I'm James.
I'm Jaja.
And happy Black History Month, first and foremost. We are back with another episode. If you've been long-time listeners, you know, probably about every 2-3 weeks, we got to do a boys' night because Shannon is just not here. So it's just me and Jaja this week. We take you guys through a couple interesting topics here. But let's get into some nerdy things, though. What's been going on? Jaja, what you been up to?
I've been gone for a couple weeks. I heard my shout out of shames and all of that, so I'm racking them up.
Oh, man. Like clockwork.
But, you know, I had to go visit some family and got stuck out there because of the storm. My flight did get canceled because I had a layover in Nashville. So
Gotcha.
Nashville got hit pretty hard, I think. And yeah, when I flew through there, you could see the ice and the snow everywhere. So yeah, and then this weekend, we just got snow like last night. So it snowed. It actually snowed here in Georgia. It didn't last weekend, but this weekend it did. So not
we were supposed to get something right, and I don't think we did.
So yeah, I've been trying to keep up with some nerdy things, but I was spending a lot of my time with family, so I wasn't really that nerdy per se.
Mhm.
But I did rewatch. I told Shannon I was gonna watch Fate Stay Night, the first one, and I did. I finished it. She wanted a recommendation of where to start, or like with that series. I wouldn't start with the first one. I would start with the one that I'm watching right now, Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. It's almost like
Absolute bangers.
a
Both
retelling
bangers.
of that one from like either a different perspective or it could be like a different timeline. Because the first one that I watched, it focused more on the boy, and this one is focusing more on the girl, but it's kind of following a very similar storyline, but with updated graphics, way updated, you know, animation. So watching that right now. I watched a couple episodes of Wonder Man. So far, so good. We can talk about that when we get to it. And I have been rewatching Power. I'm about to be on season 6, the last season of Power. Rewatching it with someone who never seen it before. So I plan on going into Tyreek and Tommy next, and then jumping back to Kanan before Origin comes out, because Origins is about to come out.
I do need to get caught up on the Powerverse.
So yeah, and then Warhammer DK Space Marine 2 dropped on Game Pass. So I jumped into that. Pretty dope. Reminds me of like Gears of War. But yeah, I'm getting into that. I'm glad it dropped on Game Pass. That's one of the games I've been trying to get my hands on. And then yeah, I've been getting a lot into ROM hacks. You know, I'm like messing with retro games and all that. So discovered ROM hacks of homebrew games and fan-made games, and some of them are pretty interesting. So right now I'm playing these ROM hacks of Pokemon Fire Red. One of them is called Pokemon Unbound. Brand new story. The map looks pretty brand new. It's they, you know, got all the Pokemon in it. And basically what these ROM hacks do is add all the current features that are in Pokemon and put them in like old games. So you can get like a ROM hack of just Fire Red with all the updated Pokemon, all the like mega evolutions and all the crazy stuff in like that Game Boy Advance graphic style. Because a lot of people say like that was the best era of Pokemon. Like as soon as they went to like 3DS and now with the Switch Pokemon, which people aren't too happy with the Pokemon that just came out. What was it called? I forget what it's called. But
Legend ZA?
Yeah, Legend ZA. People aren't too thrilled about that one. I don't know if you've been seeing some of that.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of mixed reviews about it.
So, but yeah, so I'm playing Pokemon Unbound, pretty dope. And then they have a Pokemon Rocket Edition. It's pretty much Fire Red, but you're playing as a Team Rocket member. So the story runs parallel to the story in Fire Red, but you're just doing it from Rocket's perspective, and pretty interesting. Yeah, some other like the first Legend of Zelda on like the Nintendo. There's a ROM hack of that makes it like more current and easier to play today. You know, they have like ROM hacks of Super Mario Sunshine. That's a very popular one that they have a updated ROM hack for it that makes, you know, quality of life features and like modern, you know, features to games that make it more playable today. So discovering that there's a whole bunch of games there that I could like jump into. So, adding my list of games is getting pretty long. So I gotta chill out a little bit.
Oh yeah, no, your backlog is probably crazy.
Other than that, I did watch the Xbox Developer Direct that happened like a couple weeks ago. I know y'all talked about Fable, but I wanted to talk about the other games that they featured real quick when we get to video games. But besides that, that's it. I haven't got to
Gotcha.
a Night of the Seven Kingdoms yet. I know there's like 2 or 3 episodes of that out. Dunkin' and Egg. Oh yeah, you're not a Game of Thrones fan. Gotta
No,
wait till
yeah, I
Shannon.
haven't. I was so confused on what you're talking about. I thought it was an anime.
And then I'm trying to
Let's
find.
see.
I'm probably gonna jump back into One Piece. I want to finish One Piece.
Nice. We do got a bit of a break
Mhm.
before it comes back. So my things, I still, of course, watching JoJo's, still binging, trying to get caught up before Steel Ball Run comes out. Using my Animator app still. It's still working pretty well. So I'm on episode 62 now. I'm on part 3. So I got like 12 episodes left of part 3. So I'll definitely be done with that this week. But yeah, 62 episodes out of 190. So I got 128 left. I'm still got it. Well, the pace needed is 2.78 episodes today. So it's actually like going lower because I've been watching more than 3 on some days, but definitely like minimum 3. I had like one catch up day where I didn't watch any at all, where I had to watch like 6 or 7 to get caught up. But yeah, still keeping up with that. JoJo's absolute fire. I see why I like it so much. And I'm not usually a big rewatcher of things, so maybe I'll start rewatching things. Watching Vigilantes, that one's still dope. JJK, of course. This week's episode wasn't too confusing. I know Shannon has this ongoing thing of like, is it too complex? But yeah, this week's episode was pretty straightforward, so nothing too crazy. Gotcha Yakuta, I finally finished it because the dub finally finished. Excited to see where that goes in these next seasons. Gaming wise, Arc Raider still has me in the absolute chokehold. Marvel Rivals, of course. They dropped the Collaborating Club update, so you can do like 1v1s now. Oh man, that's so funny.
Right.
So you can, like, you know how back in Call of Duty days, people would be like, all right, 1v1 me, like we were talking trash. So now you can literally 1v1 people in Marvel Rivals. But if you're a tank player going to go against a support player, it's still like you have your tank health pool, they have their support health pool. So it's, I mean, totally unfair matches, but that's the risk of trying to 1v1 somebody. So you don't know who they're going to choose, and then you don't know what kind of strategy they're going to employ. So, but it is fun. And I played a new game called, well, it's not new to me, called Dead by Daylight. It's like a horror game. So you're trying to escape this killer, and it has like killers from a whole bunch of different series. So one time I was facing against Ghostface. I know they have some Stranger Things characters in there. Someone said Michael Myers was in the game at one point, and then Chucky and stuff like that. But yeah, each killer has like different abilities and stuff like that. And then the people that are trying to escape, there's different characters too that are trying to escape. And they have characters from a bunch of different things. Like the person I was playing with, she was playing as Laura Croft. So and then she had different abilities. But you got to repair these generators and then escape the arena. That's basically the premise of the game, but it's like a horror game. So like, you don't know when a killer's going to pop up. Like you have a heartbeat thing, like a sound in your ear as they start getting closer. So your heart starts beating faster as the killer gets closer. So that's like your audio cue to get out of there, basically, and go hide somewhere or try to, juke them and escape. So, but that was pretty fun. It was actually free to play on Steam. So until February 2nd, you can just play it for free. But I ended up buying it because I enjoyed it. So I definitely see myself playing it more.
Have,
But it was on sale for 60% off. So it was like $8.
have you ever played a match as the killer?
Not yet. So yeah, yesterday was my first time playing, and I was playing on mouse and keyboard too. I was like, man, I barely even know what I'm doing right now. But I am going to do the tutorial today for like the killer side, so that way I can be the killer and try to chop people up, put them on them the meat hooks.
I just looked it
But yeah,
up.
no, that
It's
game
on Game
was pretty
Pass.
fun. Oh snap! I could have played for the free. See, anyways,
And it's on
that's
sale
cool.
for $8, like you were saying. So I wonder if
Gotcha.
this
Well,
cross.
plenty options. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I was playing with someone that was on PlayStation.
Okay, so I should download it. Check it out.
Yeah, and maybe Shannon will get it, and we might play the game together. Who knows? Shannon, if you're listening, get a game. Other than that, oh yeah, I watched Wonder Man. I got up to like episode 4. We can talk about that a little bit later on. So I'm halfway through Wonder Man. I got yet another new jacket. Let me pull it out here. This was a late birthday gift. Shout out to my best friend. It's a one-piece tapestry jacket.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's the whole thing is tapestry material. But yeah, it has the Straw Hat Crew on it. My boy Tony Chopper down at the bottom.
Fire.
Yeah, the company's called RDM Clothing. So
Is it reversible?
If they decide to sponsor us. No, it's just tapestry on
Okay.
the inside. Oh, snap, I got a one-piece shirt on too right now. Shout out to Buggy. It's a little cold to be wearing that one right now. So once it warms up, I'll probably put that on, or I can layer it. But I definitely want people to see the jacket instead of throwing another jacket over top. But yeah, I like that jacket. it's a dope one. So
Yeah,
shout
spring
out
will
to
be
my
here
best friend
soon.
for getting that. Oh man, we need it. It's still snowing ice on the ground out here in Virginia. So
Uh-huh.
oh wait, randomly I downloaded a Forza because I was gonna play it because I just like cars, and I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I should play a car game. I ended up not playing it, but I mean I downloaded it, so maybe I'll play it at some point. But I think I'm gonna try Horizon 6 once it does officially drop. But other than that, that's all my nerdy things. We can get into some news topics here. So actually, we can start with Wonder Man since there isn't too much else going on TV movie wise. So how far into it did you get?
I am on the third episode or fourth.
Did you start it yet? The third one?
I'm not sure if I'm on the third or the fourth. I'm trying to remember. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. But one of the interesting things to me about the show is the guy who was in Iron Man as the Mandarin,
Mhm.
and then you find out he was like an actor. He is like, he has my interest right now. Like, he has piqued my interest. So I need to know what's going on with him and how he's connected. Because they already revealed a little bit, and I'm super interested. And I like the guy. I think he's doing great acting wise, and I'm enjoying the show. I'm not going. I can't wait to see what happens.
Likewise, yeah. So I finished episode 4. It was, I wouldn't say filler. It was like a crazy backstory, but it wasn't the characters, like the main characters involved in the story. But it was like, it's very relevant to the story, which is kind of why it was throwing me for a loop. So like, why are we doing this right now? Like it seemed like filler at first, but you just got to pay attention, and it's like, okay, this all makes sense now. But it connects the dots at the end. But yeah, no, acting wise, Yahya Abdul-Mateen, he's doing this thing. The Mandarin, for some reason, it's something interesting about him that like we got to keep an eye on this guy because something's going on. It's more to it than he's just a actor that got conned into playing the Mandarin. It's something that they got up their sleeve. But yeah, it's not your typical like superhero show. It's kind of different. It's about the character and like kind of his life. Like we see some powers at least halfway through. We've seen some powers so far, but it's not like he's out saving the world or anything like that. He's literally just a guy trying to get an acting job. So you do got to go into it with what I wouldn't say go into it with expectations of seeing like superhero fights because it's Marvel, so people's like, oh man, we're gonna see some. Who's he gonna fight? I think people have that kind of expectation going into it. And it's a little bit different than Marvel shows of the past, where it is kind of about superhero fighting or even villain fighting. But yeah, I kind of like that they took this different direction. So it's like, all right, we can get different type of stories from Marvel versus the typical hero saves today, where it's someone described it as a character study. So I think more so along those lines, where it's like story driven versus action driven.
Mhm.
So like I have seen people saying that it kind of sucks, but I think those people are like action hungry. They're coming in expecting there to be like heavy action versus like this is not that kind of show.
And I did notice in the beginning they used the Marvel Spotlight intro, and I know a couple years back Feige was trying to make a separation, like the spotlights were gonna be like kind of different, So I'm enjoying it. I can't wait to finish. I'll probably have it finished by next week, so we can really like spoil everything.
Yeah, give everybody at least a week to watch it. But yeah, it's out now, Disney Plus. If you guys want to check it out. Yeah, they dropped the whole thing all at once. So I know some people maybe have finished it by now. I'll most likely finish it this week though. I've been heavy binging JoJo's and then some different gaming going on. And we'll see if Shannon's watched it by the time she gets back. Now let's get into some gaming news here. So starting off, you familiar with the card game Magic the Gathering? Have you ever played it?
So I never played the physical card game, but there was a
Mhm.
game that came out on the OG Xbox, Magic the Gathering, where it was a dueling game where you pretty much picked I don't know if these were characters in the universe, but they like would summon the card in real life, and then each other, whatever you summon would go towards the other player and try to attack them. And you're trying to counter whatever the other person summons with a different monster. It was a play on the card game, but I have played that game to death.
That sounds like me, one of those Yu-Gi-Oh games. But yeah, so Magic the Gathering, they're owned by Hasbro. So Hasbro, their shareholders are suing them for printing too many Magic the Gathering cards. So the actual physical collectible cards. They say they're saturating the market and then thus making the stock price not increase as much as they would like it to. Which it's interesting because we've kind of talked about, scalping culture and then especially like when it comes to Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh cards, how people are just going to stores and buying out the stock of all the cards. But, Magic the Gathering kind of hasn't had this problem. And I kind of wonder why. I was like, do people not really play Magic the Gathering like that? But now we see that it says they're just printing enough cards to supply the people that want to play the game, which to the shareholders, that's a problem because they feel like they're saturating the market and people don't want to, you know, buy all the stock out. Like, got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how that works. Like when you're making a card system like that, do you have like a contract that says how many you could print out of each card, like the rarity and all that? Because it seems like, you know, they could or could not print many. Like if you don't print a lot of cards, then the demand is high for cards. You have people buying them for a higher price, but I feel like a lot of people still actively play this game.
Yeah,
Like it's not just
I also see
about
random TikToks about it.
collecting.
Yeah, so I think people do actually like go into the card stores and want to play versus like I want to buy these to resell versus like the whole rarity thing you were mentioning on like if they have limited prints, I feel like that only benefits the secondhand market because like let's say they do print X number of cards, only so many booster packs are going out into the wild, so like there's a fixed number on how much the company itself is even going to make from that. So if someone just buys out the stock outright in the stores, like the company is going to get, X amount of dollars. But let's say they did find some of those rare cards. The price on that is determined by whatever the buyers are willing to pay. So the company, I don't think is seeing any of that profit. It's just, I mean, it's in the news, it's getting more headlines. So of course people are running in like, man, maybe I'll find one of those rare cards. Let me buy more of the cards. So yeah, I don't really see how this is like an issue. As far as fans, I think this is a good thing. It's not saturating the market, but like they're printing to meet demand versus some of the other companies are maybe not printing enough because there's too much demand.
Yeah, and I think they just should make clear guidelines. Like if this is a rare card, then obviously it shouldn't be printed a lot.
Right.
It defeats the purpose of it being rare. So I get it.
Yeah, I think it's all about money at the end of the day. But yeah, for the shareholders to sue the company saying, "Hey, you guys are making not making decisions that will make us more money," it's kind of crazy. Which I mean,
How much money do the shareholders make off of the secondhand trading market? You know what I mean? Like eBay is making money.
yeah, I don't think they make anything off of that. Besides, like marketing of people talking about it, I don't think the shareholders are making money off of that unless they are the scalpers themselves, which that would be crazy.
It's interesting.
Yeah. But speaking of money here, we had first and foremost, we got XKO has launched. So it's a fighting game. It's I think it's multi-platform for sure. I've downloaded it. I have not played it yet. I do mean to play it though. But it's based on like some characters from Arcane. So I remember I watched Arcane. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, 2XKO is finally out now. It's a tag fighting game, so it's a little bit different speed of fighting. I don't want to speak too much and get things wrong, but from what I've seen, it looks fun.
Isn't it?
I'm gonna definitely check it
It
out.
has League of Legends characters, right?
I'm not sure about League of Legends. I know Arcane for sure.
I think it was based. It used some of the League of Legends characters from what I was reading. When I was in Arizona, I did see it, and I downloaded it on my brother's Xbox, but I didn't. Did I play it? I don't know if I played it, but yeah, it looks like a dope fighting game. Graphics look crazy. It looks interesting. I wonder what the fighting community has to say about it because
It seems like a warm reception so far, from what I've seen. I just look, it does have League of Legends characters in there, so that's some dope crossover. Because I don't think they had like a proper fighting game, so like League of Legends. I mean,
yeah,
uh, but yeah, the reception seems pretty warm so far. Like people are taking to it well. It's also free to play, so more people are able to play it. So it'll be interesting to see. But tied to this, there's a company called Kalshi. They do like betting on all sorts of things.
Mhm.
They're partnered with 2XKO, and they can do esports betting. So you can bet on outcomes of matches, of 2XKO matches on this app already. So we're getting sports betting, esports betting built into gaming now. I don't know where this will take the gaming industry, but money drives everything. So it'll be interesting to see, like, let's say Evos or any sort of big tournaments coming up where people can now bet, how this will change the industry. So looking forward to seeing that. I think people do have, there's a lot of people with gambling problems out there that people are being taken advantage of.
While we're on the
Um,
subject of betting, I just like went into my Coinbase app and they added futures on there, so you can like bet on future events. Like, is it gonna snow this weekend? Like, they got a
I've been
Super
seeing
Bowl
stuff
bet.
like
Is
that.
the American League gonna win or the National League? Like, and it's pretty like I mean the odds are pretty good. It has me thinking about doing it. I'm like, what is it? They're just throwing betting on everything, and that's not And then what's the other app? I think Kashi is the real spot popular like futures betting app.
Yep. So that's the one that's partnered with 2XKO,
Okay.
or I don't know if they're partnered with that or Riot themselves. I think they're partnered with Riot themselves.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yep. We now officially have sports betting in esports. So soon enough, there'll be parlays for Evo, and people will be blowing money left and right, and also maybe winning money left and right. I feel like esports isn't easy to rig, but maybe anything is. All right, moving on here, we got Genie 3 has been released by Google. Did you see any news on Genie 3?
No, tell me about it. What's going on?
So they're calling it a game engine killer because you can make immersive worlds through AI with just like prompts using this Genie thing. So some of the things I've seen, like they recreated games like Zelda, like Breath of the Wild. Someone made what they envisioned a GTA 6 to look like, literally just typing out a prompt and then AI does all the work in the background. But yeah, it's like there was like a GTA and like an Arctic setting that I've seen. They're making all kinds of like immersible worlds in gaming. Which also gaming stocks took quite a dive once this was announced. So Unity, for example, their stock price dropped 24% because people are speculating like, okay, there may not be a need for game engines anymore since Gemini 3 can do this with AI. We won't need to hire as many people, which kind of is always the at the crux of the AI issue is we can fire people now and make this thing without using real people and just have AI running in the background.
That's interesting. Yeah, because there's a lot of like criticism about Unreal Engine and how everybody's using that right now, and all the games feel and look the same. So this is a hot topic.
Yeah, and it just happened this week. They just announced it kind of, so we're only in the beginning stages of like seeing what people are choosing to do with it. But I mean, like no one's actually used it to make a game. It just kind of was previewed this past week, so we'll see if anyone actually does generate a game with this. But right now, it's like just a world that you can explore. So it's not like a video game creator; it's like a world modeling thing. Um, so I don't know how that will tie into actually making a game. Like, will you just be able to take this asset and put it into whatever software you're using or environment you're using to create your game? We'll see. But yeah, from the demos I made, I mean, it looks cool, but I mean, it's still AI at the end of the day. Yeah, people are saying that Unity is out the door. So Unity actually, with Unreal Engine, they they make up about 70% of the market as far as mobile games, though. So like 70% of game makers are using Unity as far as mobile games. So that's quite a bit of people. So if you can Gemini, not good Gemini, Genie, this thing with AI, you'll take a lot of market share. Because I mean, people feel different ways about AI, but at the end of the day, if someone wants to, make a task easier and do something that, maybe they didn't have the skill set for, or maybe didn't have the capacity as far as money or time, and then just AI within minutes, boom, I got a game world. I mean, people may go that direction.
Yeah, I mean, you like Unity, they're gonna have to prove their value again, um, which is pretty interesting because the next thing to talk about, I wanted to talk about this game Crimson Desert,
Mhm.
and been following this game for a couple years. It's made by Pearl Abyss, and what's interesting about this game is that they are using their own game engine. This is an engine that Pearl Abyss made, and with all the things that they are promising this game to do and be like, and the videos we're getting, this game is supposed to be pretty epic. So, like, if it lives up to the hype, this might prove the value in like having a homemade engine. Maybe this might, be a argument against that AI Gene 3, auto generated engine, and see we could make comparisons to see pros and the cons.
Yeah, I only recently got hip to this. So, but like from the trailers I've seen, I was like, man, this looks, ambitious, especially the things that they're saying that their game engine is capable of. So I definitely would like to follow along and see like how does this game turn out? Because a lot of people are excited about this game, which I feel like to me it came out of nowhere. But like you said, you've been following it for years, so I'm like, oh man, where have I been? Maybe I've been under a rock. But yeah, looking at it now, I'm like, okay, this looks like a lot to look forward to for a lot of people that have been following it. So yeah, no, it has my attention right now. I don't know if I would drop a hot 70 on it, but at the moment, I would definitely check it out.
So this is from the same people that I was looking at the game DokeV. It's supposed to be like a monster catching game. And when they first
Mm.
like drop trailers of it, it's like a kid in the air, like with an umbrella, and it looks like you could like roller skate and skateboard. And it was very like cartoonish, but it looked really good. And we haven't heard anything about that game in years. Supposedly because they were focusing on this game, Crimson Desert. They wanted to get this one out, and then they were gonna go back and work on that game. Supposedly they're both using like the same assets and the same engine. So if you go look at like an old video of DokeV, that like shows like another style in which this engine could be used. And it looks good. Like I hope they're still working on that game because it seems like, not to like jump all over the place, but like it just reminded me of this other game that just came out. I don't know if it's definitely on Xbox. Animo. It's another monster catching game, but in this one, you can like turn into your monsters that you catch and use their abilities like firsthand. And I thought this game was just gonna blow over as like another like Pokemon clone that nobody cares about, but I'm seeing more and more YouTubers like streaming this game saying that it's actually really, really good and up there with Power of the Pokemon. So I wonder what Nintendo is gonna do because it is basically, whatever, a clone of a Pokemon, so to speak, even though, I don't think so. I think it's very different, just like Power is very different. But we'll see what happens with that. But back to
I have seen clips of this Animal game. I had no idea what it was. I didn't even look too much further into it. But yeah, it has been on my feed.
yeah, okay, so you've been seeing it too, right? So it's
Yeah,
people are talking about it. It's very interesting. I don't know. I might have to try it if it's free to play or something.
it might be worth checking out. Did you check out High Guard at all? I know it got a big announcement, well, a big push at the Game Awards. People were saying like, why we saved that for last. So there's been a lot of speculation about High Guard and how well it'll do upon release. So did you happen to check that out?
So yeah, I've been seeing a lot of videos. I haven't checked out the game because my YouTube feed is just full of videos hating on this game. And yeah, Jeff Keighley's under a lot of speculation. People think he got paid. They're like, "Yo, why would you sit here and promote this game at the Game Awards like it was the next big thing?" And from the description and the gameplay that I've seen, it looks pretty bad. Like it looks not bad, but like not well tuned. Like it looks like you're running around a lot of like doing nothing. You barely run into the enemy unless you're going to specific areas. It's like it looks like they tried to combine a lot of features from different games and didn't really make them like work together really good.
Yeah, I watched a couple streams of people playing this, and like I wasn't like just sitting down watching it. I was like kind of passively watching it because I was doing something else. But every time I looked over, I was like, when is anything going to happen? So like that's kind of my impression of it. But I haven't sat and played the game myself to form my own opinion too harshly one way or the other. But yeah, I do see overwhelmingly negative reviews of this game. And then like some of the streamers I do watch, they kind of talk about it after the fact. They're like, I did enjoy the game, but just the way people were complaining about how like complaining when I was playing it makes me not want to play it more. Which I mean, streaming, your job is to entertain people. So of course you want to play kind of what people are enjoying you playing
Mhm.
versus, oh, why is this guy still playing this kind of all day? So, I mean, that makes sense from like if your job is to entertain people, you want to play with what is entertaining people. And then if people aren't entertained by this game, like, will people even want to play it if they're not enjoying someone else playing it? So,
Right. And and it's crazy because this is coming from the people that made Titanfall 2 and what's the other game that they made? It's a free to play game that's like a Fortnite. Dang, it's at the tip of my tongue. But that game I would rather play than this game. What is the game called? That's it's just like Fortnite, but oh my god, I cannot believe them. Now I'm gonna have to look it up real quick. But on the Steam page, they removed that like because in the description of the game it said from the makers of Titanfall and this other game that
yeah, I did see that.
they removed it from Steam. So both Titanfall 2 and this game that I'm trying to reference are great games. So it's like, what happened with this one? They just
It's made by Respawn, Apex Legends.
Apex Legends. I would much rather play Apex Legends.
Yeah, I was on Apex for heavy
Did
for a
play it.
while.
Yeah, I did play Apex Legends. So I don't know. It sucks that they, invested a lot. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much they invested in this game. A lot of people think this is just Concord reskinned, And it's interesting that it reminds me of Overwatch, and it's called High Guard. So it's like when you break down those Overwatch High Guard, it's like okay, like could have been a little bit more creative. I don't know. This game just it it as soon as Jeff Keighley showed it, it didn't have a chance to succeed. I don't think this was inevitable.
Yeah. I think because people put such a high emphasis on Game Awards, so like the trailers that we see, like they were hyping up this big reveal all night, and it's like, all right, this is the game that's kind of got that big hype, that big push. I think people are expecting a lot just because of the placement of that trailer.
And the reason why I chose this article in particular to throw in the rundown is because supposedly the people that went and tested this game was like a hand selected like journalist and some streamers that were like, I don't know if they were biased or anything, but supposedly these people are like trying to defend the game and like, are we being too hard on the game? And like, should we just give it a shot? And it's like, no, if people are not having fun with the game, like, what do you want them to do? Continue playing it
Right.
until they have fun? I don't like wait for keep playing it and hope for an update. Like, the game sucks. Sorry.
Dang.
Like, why are we trying to? So and I heard a take saying that like it's also showing that gaming media really don't have an influence on gamers and how they spend their money. So, you know, they trying to find ways to control people and you got to make a good game instead of trying all these cheap tricks and stuff like that. Just because
Yeah.
Jeff
At,
Keighley
at the
says
end of
to
the day,
get it at
people
the
want to
Game
have fun.
Awards doesn't make it a good game. Like people want to play good games.
That's all it comes to at the end of the day.
So speaking of good games coming out, the Xbox Developer Direct happened a couple weeks ago, and I did watch it, and it was pretty good. It featured 4 games, so we knew about 3 of them, and they snuck in the third one. And I know I can tell you why. Let's start off with the game that they snuck in. Right? It's called Killing,
Kill?
Kill, and it's basically you design your own pottery object. You can make a cup, vase, whatever. You literally sit there, mold it in the video game, pottery style. And it then becomes a character with like legs and arms and a face. And you take it into this match. I think it's 4 players, brawling match, like a Smash Bros mixed with just like a party brawler. So
Mhm.
you take this vase and you go, like, you got to try and put out the other team's fire and you can attack each other or whatever. The team that did it said that basically, while they're working on their main games, they would take a 2-week break and brainstorm and come up with an idea and then try to make the game in 2 weeks just as like a activity. If everyone likes the game or, they would put more time into it. So apparently this is one of those games that was just like one of those random ideas. And I believe this is the same studio that made Keeper, which is that game where you're walking around as the lighthouse and the birds on you, and it's just like a really random weird game. So apparently they're into making these weird games. A lot of people weren't happy with it during the showcase. I really didn't understand it during the showcase, but the more like I watched the gameplay, I'm like, oh, this could be like a fun like party game. Like everything doesn't have to be like triple A, quote unquote. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I do think that bring back just chill, sit down party games. And because right now, pretty much Mario Party is like the only I don't want to say mindless party game that people play, but like there aren't too many games that people can just like sit down and you got friends over. Let's play something chill real quick.
Yeah. So I'm starting to come around to that game. But they did feature Forza Horizon 6. So we got a lot of information about that. It's gonna be in Japan. You start off as a tourist, and you join festivals and progress your career. And it showed, it's got all that Japan stuff that we like to see. I'm driving through the urban areas, driving up mountains, drifting down, windy curving roads and stuff like that. I can't wait for this game to come out. Forza Horizon,
So
always.
looking at this, I'm not even like a huge car game fan. Well, not anymore. I was heavy Need for Speed guy, but watching this, I was like, I kind of want to get back to that. So that's why I ended up downloading Horizon 5. But I think I'm gonna check this out. It's coming on Game Pass when it comes out, so I can check it out at no cost. And then they had a Gundam at the end, which was interesting. So I don't know what that's going to be about, but The car that they're using for leading promos, absolute fire. Toyota GRGT. I'm personally looking forward to that car. I'm a big fan of Toyota as a car company, but yeah, this GRGT looks cool. So seeing it in game, I think kind of made me also want to pay more attention to this game.
Yeah, the Gundam does scare me a little bit. I hope they don't, overdo it like Call of Duty, where you're like,
Right, turn it into something completely different.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I would want to race as Bumblebee, but if he like transforms in the middle of the race, I don't know. We'll see. Another game they showcased was a game that's Game Freak is coming out with, which everyone's like, "Oh my god, Game Freak is not making a Pokemon game." But yeah, they're
Right.
coming out with this game that's kind of Souls-like, samurai, pretty interesting. It looks really good. You have a dog companion. It just looks really, really, really good. So I'm not only gonna try this game, but I also do want to see how it ranks against all these other samurai games that we're getting. I feel like we're getting like it's like it's trendy to put out like a samurai souls like game right now. So
Yeah, they're having their moment for sure. Yeah, seeing this trailer, I was like, okay, I would check that out for sure. Also, Game Pass, day one title. So for the free ski, Game Pass is eating. People like to say there's no games on Game Pass anymore for some reason. But I mean, they're dropping stuff like this day one. So I think there's still value in it.
yeah, now there used to be nothing on Game Pass. That you can't say that today. Like there's a ton of stuff to play on there. Oh my god! Like I get a brain freeze or I forget what the term is where you can't make a decision because you have too many options. But yeah, last but not least, y'all talked about Fable. I agree with everything y'all said. It looks like it's going to be absolutely amazing. I see that they added I don't know if they added or this was always the plan to have like a character customization in the beginning because all the trailers that we saw featured that main female that we always saw. So I don't know if at the
Mm.
last minute they were like, "Oh, let's throw in a character customization because everyone might not want to be a female character." I would just say that in the trailer, the guy character, they got to do some adjustments on his movement style, I feel like, because I feel like it just looks to me that they added this at the last second because the guy kind of moves like a female. If you look at the way he walks, if they change that, we're all good. But that's my only little caveat with the game that uh, I don't know what they were doing with that feature, but I wouldn't mind playing that female throughout the whole thing. But Fable looks great. Can't wait till that comes out. And I'm actually replaying the first Fable. I forgot to add that to my nerdy things. I'm trying to play Fable 1, 2, and 3 over and, re-experience that.
Thanks. I was just about to ask where you planning on playing this once it drops, but it sounds for sure like you are.
Yes, that is a fact.
Nice. Was there anything else at the direct?
No, those are the 4 games that they featured.
Gotcha. Other gaming news here, we had the Epic Store that had free giveaways, and it caused a huge spike in Steam sales. This I was not privy to.
So yeah, I've been telling you guys about Epic Game Store having a free game on there. Like I don't know how often it changes. It's like every couple of days it changes or every week. But apparently, one of the games that came out, I guess the developer is saying that when it dropped free on Epic, people went to Steam and bought it. Like there were more people buying it than downloading it on Epic for free. And I find that kind of interesting, you know, with especially with the topic that we're about to talk about, because I feel like it's hard to get people away from their platform right now. Like if whatever ecosystem you're in, it's like
Mhm.
it takes a lot for you to leave that ecosystem. So
Yeah, to the point where people would rather pay for something than play it free on a different ecosystem. That's actually kind of crazy. That's really interesting to me now.
right.
But the game they're talking about here is called Blood West. I've never heard of this myself. I don't know if it's good or not, but it doesn't really look like something that I would enjoy. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure it has an audience. I could put it that way. I actually opened up Epic Game Launcher yesterday because I was playing Fortnite. I barely open up Epic. I mean, I don't play Fortnite that often, but it's not too many games on Epic that I play. But I am like kind of a Steam slash Xbox Battle Pass. I mean, Gaming Pass kind of guy. So, which takes us into our topic here. Has the gaming console wars died down?
Console wars are over.
I do think we can officially say RIP to the console wars.
I mean, I hate to maybe it's just from my perspective and the content that I take in, a lot of the console warring these days is coming from PlayStation. They're the only ones still stuck on exclusives. Yeah, a lot of I feel like a lot of the people that speak up for them like want them to keep games exclusive and make people buy this PlayStation box when it could just like who cares where you're playing these games at?
Yeah, I think from my perspective, like mainly I just want to play fun games with my friends. So like crossplay is kind of the way forward. I think everything should kind of just be crossplay, unless there's like literal platform dependence on like the hardware, like the controller, or let's say the Nintendo Switch 2, like how they have the like the mouse pad things on there. Like if it's something console hardware dependent, an exclusive makes absolute sense. But yeah, I think we can go ahead and put these console wars to rest. RIP to them. But I do think we are shifting towards platform wars now at this point. So kind of how you brought up earlier, people were, instead of getting a free game on Epic, they were paying for it on Steam. Yeah, I think ecosystems are kind of the new frontier of the quote unquote war.
And it looks like everything's moving more towards, well, at least Microsoft is moving more towards PC gaming, quote unquote. And then Steam looks like is moving kind of towards console gaming, like it wants to have that as an option. So yeah, it's interesting. They like I feel like it's got to the point where Microsoft is okay with you playing Steam games on their platform. Like I literally like I have some Steam games installed and they're in my Xbox app. I can just launch them through my Xbox app. My Xbox app is gonna open Steam, open game automatically. It's like they just want you to stay on their platform, and it's all up to me. It's all a data collection thing.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was downloading Forza Horizon 5, like in my game, like my Xbox app on my PC, it showed my Steam games on there. And I was like, wait, I thought I bought this on Steam. But then it had like the Steam icon and everything. So I was like, oh, they're like integrated. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I think the shift is moving just towards, hey, come to our ecosystem and spend your money here versus buy our hardware.
And I mean, I don't think Steam reciprocates that because I can't see my Xbox games when I open up my Steam library. But
This is true. I open Steam, no Xbox games there, just straight Steam.
if there was a day, I mean, I highly doubt this would ever happen. But if they were to make their play anywhere games like truly play anywhere, like if I have Helldivers on Steam, obviously it's different from the Xbox version. You know what I mean? But if that was one version of the game and it was like a truly a play anywhere experience, like I don't know, that would be different. I don't know how they would implement that. That's like it's not going to happen just because it wouldn't make sense. They might as well become one thing at that point.
Yeah, one company. I honestly think at some point somebody's going to attempt a buyout of like, hey, let's not the entire company, but like the gaming section of that company.
Oh,
Like if someone were to pick to, um, yeah, Steam or any of the other indie like Epic, any of the launchers, I think we're going to get to the point of people just outright trying to buy them and say, hey, here's X dollars. What do you say? Let's shake hands on. Let's put our ties on and go into the meeting room and talk numbers. I think we're going to get to that point because people just kind of want your customer base versus your actual game titles now at this point.
I think there was a point where Epic tried to take their games off of Steam, and you can only buy it at the Epic store, and it didn't work out too good.
Man, yeah, somebody's gonna have to figure that out. Um, so getting into here, one of the talking points I wanted to mention was like people like let's say the consoles are dead. Consoles are still selling at record numbers. Like we're having new like company records like Switch 2 or even Sony, like PS5 are selling at record numbers. Like, all right, this has sold more copies than a previous generation. Um, so do you think that's attributed to people buying multiple systems? Like, let's say, all right, I have an Xbox and also a PlayStation and also a Switch. Like, are people more open to multi-platforming in their own homes, or is it just more people are gaming in general, or maybe both?
I don't know because I just saw a report about like Microsoft specifically. I think their console sales are down like 30% or something like that. So I mean, I don't. This might be a biased like Xbox fanboy opinion, but I think PlayStation's selling because they have the momentum. It's kind of like the Apple iPhone. Everyone's got a PlayStation. It's the coolest one to have, so that's why that one's selling. Nintendo, on the other hand, it's like people must love Mario. Like I don't know, or maybe like it's I can't even say it's like an overseas thing because it's selling like hotcakes here too. But the sales have slowed down, so who knows? Maybe it was just that initial run. We'll see. We'll see with Nintendo, but I think their sales slowed down a little bit. But especially because the games aren't coming out, bangers aren't coming out consistently. Like what's the last banger was? I think the Mario Tennis game looked really good. That looked really good. But
Yeah, once we get beyond their launch titles, I think we'll see kind of where we level out as far as their sales go. As we get deeper into the console lifespan. But I do think Nintendo specifically, they have the interesting thing of like people have multiple Switches. Like people don't just buy one individual Switch for like the entire household. It might be like, let's say a family, like the kids might have their own Switch lights, which goes into, of course, their sales numbers. So like, let's say you have, two kids, there might be 3 Switches in that one house because, dad has his, mom, let's say she's a gamer too, she might have hers, and then if they have like a 7-year-old, all right, we'll get them a Switch Lite.
mhm. And then I'm not really familiar with how, like, I know the Switch 2 is backwards compatible, but it's like if it's 100% backwards compatible, I can see a use case for that. To like, I get to play all my games on better, hardware. Why not?
Exactly, yeah. So I mean, you're selling multiple of the same console to one person. That's going to up the sales numbers for sure. So for people to say, hardware, it doesn't matter anymore. I think hardware for sure matters to some people because they're like, okay, I like what I like. I'm gonna get multiple of these. In the case of Switch, I don't see people having multiple PS5s. That's kind of crazy. Multiple Xboxes. I mean, I'm not sure what the use case would be if you have multiple of those. You want one in every room. You just got a lot of money. But I don't think like you would need multiple of them.
I am seeing like news about like how like successful the PlayStation Portal was, and now there's a lot of PlayStation 6 Portal like speculation and news and leaks and stuff like that. I feel like the plastic, like the console war, like the plastic, who has the best plastic box, like it's gonna be way bigger than that. It's like now PC and all these mobile devices are involved, and makes things interesting. And then you got mobile devices that cost more than the console, and yeah, it just makes things very
Yeah,
interesting.
Steam Machine.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I think we've gotten to a point where the tech has, I don't want to say plateaued, but the tech has gotten as advanced as it's pretty much going to get. So like hardware innovations are kind of few and far between now. Now we're moving on to just like who's putting out better games. Like where can I play this game that I want to play? Like in the case of Expedition 33, you can play that pretty much on anything. So people just want to play whatever game they are going to play. But like if I'm already in whichever ecosystem, if a multi-platform game comes out, I'm just going to play it where I am most comfortable playing it. Even if I have multiple consoles, let's say for my instance, I got PC. I do have an older Switch and I have a PS5. I think I played Clair Obscur on my PC just because I wanted to try it on PC, and it was also I think free on Battle Pass, or I mean Game Pass. So that is also a factor, but I want to say innovation is probably the next battlefront because yeah, hardware is like graphics aren't going to get too much better than what they are now, and then loading times aren't going to get too much faster than what they are now. So it's who's bringing the fun, basically, who's bringing the fun and innovation
uh-huh.
is I think the next stage of this. And then from that, what kind of rivalries do you think we have kind of expect moving forward? Because I mean, there's always competition and things. So like, as far as innovation goes, like who's going to be the competitors in that space? Is it going to be the game studios themselves? Is it going to be the publishers? Or are we going to shift to some other hardware thing that we kind of didn't really foresee coming? Because studios definitely have
Right.
people that ride or die for like that studio specifically.
Are we talking
So I
about in
think
a world where all the games are on everything, or in like today's situation where like some games are on everything? You got PlayStation coming out on PC, but not Xbox. Then you got Xbox coming out on everything, and like, what scenario are you talking about?
I say kind of where we are now. So like some things are still stuck on whichever console, or some things are going, branching out. Is innovation the way to go, or so that way the people that are doing console exclusives, are they going to get left behind, or is it going to be kind of like whoever can reach the most people is going to end up naturally being the winner here?
It don't make sense to do exclusives anymore. You know how
Yeah,
many
I don't
people
think so.
want to play Ghost of Tsushima, but they're not gonna buy a PlayStation to play it? If that game
Literally,
came out on Xbox right now, millions of copies would sell like hotcakes, and I wouldn't feel bad at all. Yeah, I would have played that game, but I'm not paying $700 and then another $70 just to play that game. No, don't make no
Yeah, for
sense.
one game. Yeah. Which that'll lead us into our next topic here. Profit versus pride. So at one point, companies wanted to be like, hey, I am the best in gaming. I put out the best games. Y'all are not seeing me when it comes to, the games that we're putting out. Like there was pride in the games that you're putting out. Now I think companies are more focused on profit. They're like, look, we're making money. We don't care what's coming out. We can put out some slop. We can put out cash grab consoles. We're making money. We don't care what, the back, not the backlash, but like public opinion. Public opinion doesn't really matter too much as far as like this company has prestige when it comes to gaming. Like we know they're going to put some bangers out. Now I think they're just like, hey, we made some money. Our job here is done.
And I think it's a little bit of both too, because I feel like some companies, or a lot of companies, use their prestige, and the next thing is just going to be a banger. And in Microsoft's case, they like bought up so many of these prestigious companies that it's absolutely insane. You got Batista coming out with 2 games in a year, like it's absolutely nuts. Like what Microsoft has in their pocket right now, and it would. I mean, I don't know. Sony, they're the quantity is not there right now. We don't have more than one game to talk about, that to look forward to from Sony first party. So I wonder what their strategy is gonna be like going forward. Like if they're like, I heard somebody, I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and the guy said the most exciting thing about PS5 this decade has been that it's getting Xbox games. And that like, if that's the case, like I don't know, what is their strategy going forward?
Yeah, I think what they need is some new IP coming from first party that is still going to probably be multi-platform. So if they come out with a new banger first party IP that's multi-platform, that could be, I don't want to say resurgence, but it'll put Sony first party back at the forefront, kind of like where they used to be. So like, because we know some of the classic PlayStation bangers that are just like console locked. So wait, is Ratchet and Clank multi-platform? So something like that. Like let's say they come out with a new first party, like a Horizon level of hype, but they put it out multi-plat. I think that's kind of what they need to do, because I mean, of course, you're going to sell more copies. You're going to get people. I don't think people will buy a PlayStation still just for one single game, but like let's say something else comes out, PlayStation first party, more people are going to be inclined to just gaming in general. Then they'll want to explore, all right, what are similar titles? What else did this company make? They're like, oh man, they made, this game that came out, 5 years ago. This game came out 10 years ago. Maybe I should check out more of what PlayStation has to offer. I think that right there is a solid strategy. Somebody get me in a boardroom because I got the strategies. I can't give away too much sauce right here. But yeah, no, I think something like that makes a whole lot of sense.
And I mean, I also would add, like, I feel like out of Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, the first one of them to become like fully backwards compat, like whatever their devices out right now can play everything they've ever made, type of thing. That's gonna change the game. Like there's so many like good old games that they should be remastering instead of like some of the stuff they're choosing to remaster. It's kind of sad.
Yeah. I think they're focusing on the wrong hardware innovations. Like if the hardware innovations they were working this hard towards, instead of like, oh, better graphics, ray tracing, was like, hey, we got, backwards compatibility way as far back as this. I think that would kind of be where people would want to go, is because, okay, I have, all these physical games from, years ago that I had to plug in my yellow, red, white cables to even play and hope that the system still works. Or we can just go, I can plug this to my console and actually play, a game from 1998 in my console that just dropped in, let's say years from now. In 2030, I can play, a disc from way back when. Or they have a digital version available because, I mean, they want to move digitally. Yeah, we got to, at some point, the technology has to catch up towards backwards compatibility.
I feel like that's the next step in the like non-exclusive. Yeah, okay, we're gonna put all our games everywhere. More money, more people, more money. But now it's like if I can just republish all these old games and get them to pay for it again, and let's upscale the graph. Like I don't really have to do nothing to the game. No one's asking you for a remaster. Just make the graphics, upscale it a little bit, and bring it back out. And people are willing to pay for this stuff. That's money sitting on the table right there.
People are definitely willing to. Because, I mean, a lot of times they try to rely on nostalgia to get people into things, but then it's like, it has a date on it. So it's like, all right, we want nostalgia up to this point because the technology doesn't support nostalgia back to this point. Like Ape Escape came back out, people would buy that hands down, no problem.
Mhm.
Sly Cooper, same thing. If we got people want a new updated Sly Cooper, of course, but if they dropped the old Sly Coopers and made them available to play now on current consoles, people will still buy that too.
But instead, they choose to do Last of Us that came out like a couple years ago.
Yeah, improved graphics.
So yeah, and that I agree with all of that. Like, give me a new Parappa the Rapper. Like, I don't like
Oh
anything
man,
from PS1. Bushido Blade. Like, come on. There's so many
we
good
get a
games.
new rapper. That would be insane. I wonder who even owns that these days. All right, so you think because people aren't really focusing on console sales, so the competition is dying down as far as console sales go. Do you think that's what's getting these companies complacent in their gaming titles as far as innovation goes? Like people aren't. I don't want to say people aren't trying to put out bangers, but let's look at the year indie games had last year. They were putting out indie bangers that stole screen time like never before. Versus these traditional AAA companies that have the former prestige weren't putting out titles that were like just fun to play like that. Do you think the traditional gaming monsters, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, have they gotten complacent in recent years?
Yes, I would say I hate to sound like an Xbox fanboy, but yeah, I think Nintendo and Sony have gotten kind of like complacent with like these are my users. They're always gonna come back. Our stuff's gonna sell no matter what. I can put out whatever and it's gonna be there. When I kind of see Microsoft being like, okay, look, we're losing all this money on hardware. We're a software company. We really don't need the hardware to sell software, but we kind of want to like, keep it there for right now for whatever reason. I see them making that shift. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like they're soft launching, going into more publishing than hardware stuff.
Well, I mean, to me, they hard launched it, but they just totally don't want to get rid of the Xbox console because people are so attached to the plastic box going along with these brands. Like they can't. That's why people are like Xbox is dead if Xbox doesn't come out with a console. It's like no, the brand can still exist without a plastic box. Like how are you
Yeah,
gonna say that? So I don't know. People are still attached to these brands to actual physical device. So I don't know. People aren't ready to see them as a full third party publisher yet, and I'm not ready to see it either, to be honest.
yeah. I think it'll be a while before just outright consoles, or even in the case of Xbox, just outright Xbox is like, hey, we're taking a step back.
And they just redid the browser, so I think on Xbox.com/play they updated the UI, and people are giving it praise. This is the first UI coming out of Xbox that I'm seeing. People are like, "Oh, I hope they, make this the UI for the console and the PC app." So I haven't like looked at it to check it out, but I've seen like a couple videos that are like, "Oh, look at this update. It looks really clean." You know, so I don't know. And then the browser, that's just a cheat code. Anywhere in the world, you just go on xbox.com/play and you can stream Xbox games like that. I think that was genius.
Yeah. So shifting to the consumer side now, do you think consumers kind of had changed over the years? Because I mean, we know at the height of the console wars, like it was hostile to ask somebody what you play on. Like you were kind of anticipating some backlash. If you're like, all right, this person might not play on PlayStation. This person might not play on Xbox. Do you think consumers kind of lost that tribalistic mentality a little bit?
Or to be like against each other and that.
Yeah. Yeah, like in like a competitive spirit of like, hey, I'm team Xbox all the way, I'm team Sony all the way, I'm team Nintendo all the way. Like is that kind of not the case anymore?
Nah, I think it's like that more than ever right now. But I feel like
Mm,
back in the day, it was more. Yeah, you had your side, but then you also wanted to experience the other side. Like I feel like it wasn't like I don't play any PlayStation games. Like I'm gonna come over to your house on Friday. We gonna play PlayStation. You come over to my house. We gonna play Xbox. Or like if y'all all had the same thing, then it was cool. But especially when online was out. But I remember when you were younger, the people who have the same things as you could trade games and stuff like that. But then the people who had different things, it was like, nah, I want to come over to your house and play Nintendo 64. I got a Sega Saturn. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
gotcha. All right, so since we're on the people side now, do you think the console wars were organic, like people just naturally started taking sides, or was it manufactured marketing? Like the companies kind of were like, let's pit these guys against each other.
Manufactured marketing. For as long as
I
I can
definitely think that played
remember.
a part. Yeah.
From the day Sega was taking shots at Nintendo and in their commercials that they would put out for like the Sega Genesis, like it was always like that.
Yeah, I think just the natural like, competitiveness of companies looking to sell more, they kind of want to take these pot shots at their competitors, of course. And then as consumers, if this is in your marketing, you're like, oh yeah, that thing does suck. I have the better thing. So I think that kind of
And it's really
drummed it up a lot.
it's really for us to war. They like the war. Like Sony employees like go to Microsoft, and Microsoft employees go to Sony. Like they all the time. They share more information than we may think. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I think they're in these boardrooms shaking hands while the customers are kind of at each other's throats.
oh yeah, I agree.
Man. So yeah, I think we can confidently say console wars are definitely a thing of the past. We're probably shifting more so towards platform wars than ever before. Um, I mean, or maybe even just PC versus
And
console wars.
I don't even think
Because
this.
I mean that was a thing for a little while.
I don't think this is an isolated video game thing. Like platform wars, I'm talking about they fighting Netflix. They fighting with
Yeah, even streaming.
like ESP. All these Disney, like all these different places are fighting for everyone's attention at this point. How long can we get these people to stare at the screen and stay on our app and so we can collect all of their data and sell it?
Yeah,
That's how-
sell their data, sell stuff to them. Man, any other topics on the any other thoughts on the topic of console wars?
no, not really.
Nice. Well, this is a shaky transition here, but God of War TV show cast, they have been putting out who's casted. So I mean, I know that's a Sony brainchild here. But yeah, have you been seeing any of the castings for this God of War show?
I'm about to check it out right now.
They're actually getting some of the people that I know. For some of the people, they're actually in the game, like voice acting in the game for God of Wars.
Okay.
But yeah, from what I can see in the cast, it looks like they're putting together a nice cast here. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. We have Ryan Hurst as Kratos. I have no idea how to pronounce this guy's name. Olafur Dari Olafsson as Thor. He was in Severance. Mr. Drummond. Teresa Palmer as Sif. Max Parker as Heimdall. Mandy Patinkin as Odin. It seems like the storyline they're going to be taking is from Ragnarok first instead of the God of War 2018. So based on some of the characters that they're talking about are in this. But it's set to start filming next month actually. And it's targeting a 2027 release date.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. So this is one that I'm looking forward to. I'll definitely be checking this out.
Mm-hmm. I gotta do a God of War like playthrough.
Yeah, no, God of War is it's a lot of fun. And a great story too. And then real quick, we kind of forgot to mention WWE Royal Rumble was this past week. I know we said we're going to talk about wrestling a little bit more. So yeah, we had the Royal Rumble this past weekend. On the men's side, the Tribal Chief took the Royal Rumble #1 spot. He ended up winning the whole thing. And on the women's side, we had Liv Morgan took the whole thing away. Side skirmishes, we had AJ Styles versus Gunther. It was a retirement match, so if AJ Styles lost, he had to retire. He ended up losing, so it looks like he's going to retire. There is speculation that he's going to go do a TNA run before he like fully closes the chapter on wrestling. So we'll see if that does end up happening. And then we had Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre. I think that was the other match that we had. But yeah, Royal Rumble just passed, and now we're getting into WrestleMania season. So we're going to start seeing some WrestleMania storylines come to fruition.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't follow wrestling too closely, but I know who the Tribal Chief is. That's what I'll be looking for.
Anything else before we close out here?
Nah, that's all I got.
Nice. All right, we should be back next week, all three of us. Shannon might still be on vacation. She's no telling where Shannon is. Jet setting Shannon might be in the tropics next weekend. She might be home. Who knows? She has her phone on her. She could have joined in on here. Let's give her a shout out to shame. She could have joined in because she has her phone on her. So, Shannon, shout out to shame to you. We're gonna call that
Just cut
5 points. Yeah, 5 points because you like to give us points. So, plus 5 points for Shannon. Minus 5 points for James and Jaja because we held it down this week.
Yeah.
So, we'll have Shannon put all the credits and all that good stuff on where to follow us. You guys know where to follow us by now. Give us a like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until next time, I'm James.
I'm Jaja.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Peace.